The key for me in understanding anything I'm trying to learn is to find out the correct terminology and what they're calling something. In this episode, we're going to be talking about support and resistance and trading, what it is, what it means, and how you should be utilizing it. The first thing you should know about trading is you don't go into something blind just off of a feeling or a hunch. That's just gambling. There are trends that we need to be paying attention of. Now, there are particular trends that we can map out known when we're talking about candlestick charts, and this is the fluctuation, the movement of buying patterns within trading. It's not always about what you think is going to happen, it's about what you see happening right before your very eyes. Now, these trends are mapped out in different time segments so you can get a better understanding of what the market is actually doing. We might mark it out at 15 minutes and see what the trends are in that 15-minute time span before a trade, a half hour, and an hour. And if you really want to go deep into it, over a particular day. But for our trading and what I've seen, looking at that 15, 30-minute, and 1 hour trading gives you an indication of what the market is actually doing. Now, resistance, think of that as the ceiling. That's going to be the line you draw at the top of a particular market price. Let's say every 15 minutes or so, the pattern seems to be that once a particular price is met, you start seeing some selling. That's an indication that this is resistance, that the market is not feeling this particular asset to be worth more than what it's trading at that particular time. When it gets to this level, people start selling off. That's resistance. And transversely, the support levels are what happens when buyers start picking up or buying a particular asset class, meaning that it's getting to a point that's so low that it might be a good idea to buy right now. Those are the two key crucial elements of trading. This is where you play with your trading prospects in that area between resistance and support. Okay, so let's put that into action. We're going to take our Robinhood chart, for example, and we're going to set up a resistance and a support line based on what we're seeing. Now, at the time of this recording, it's about 10:30 p.m. on a Sunday night, and I'm looking at the S&P Spider Trust. Okay, let's look at that. And first thing you need to do is learn how to navigate in the app itself. Now, you'll see this little icon here. It's a little plus sign that's in the middle of the screen. I'm wiggling it right there. What you want to do to move the screen or the chart left to right is just you hold down the mouse button, right mouse button, and just go right to left, up or down, right to left, up or down. You want to center that. Okay. Now, we're seeing activity. That's these up and down trends that are happening. And we're looking at it from the 15-minute uh, view. I want to make these things a little bit longer so they're more definable. To do that, take that plus sign, go over to your price points, hold down the mouse button, and drag up or down. See what's happening? Now you're getting more detailed views of what's going on. Cool. That's what we want. All right. As we can see, and again, I'm going to press the mouse button, move it up. See that last lowest level, that price change point? This is going to be where I set my first horizontal line on the end of this trade. That's going to be our support line. All right. To do that, we go up to the menu bar and you select the line style. Let me go back. Let's refresh the screen real quick. And do that process all over again. Down, play it around, drag it around, and rolling the mouse will get you that stretched out feel that you want. So I want to go right there. And I'm also going to remove this trend line I set, this previous resistance line, clicking on it and then hitting delete. Now, press, boom. This was that change I was talking about. See this arrow here? These are the type of lines you got going on. Hit that drop down menu, we're going to put a horizontal line. Now, when it started making this change, click right there on the body. And just change the color. This is going to be green. And you don't have to choose the same colors that I'm choosing. But that's going to be my support line. Okay? This is when things started happening. Now, as I move this graph over, my support line stays there and it gives me a point. This is the dollar amount where I want to start buying if I'm on that buy tip. You also make money coming down with the puts, but that's after the resistance line is determined. Right now, we're still going up. This latest one looks like it's about to start dropping. And I'm going to go ahead and place my resistance line right here. And this is going to be done by, again, selecting the horizontal line, clicking there, and changing the color to red. Now, with your resistance and support lines established, this is where the action is. This is where the action is between 679 and 680. And that's what we're dealing with. Let's go ahead and put it up here. So you have all this at this current level to play with. If it breaks resistance, meaning the buyers are going above that, that's another indication of some activity going beyond that. But this is where we're at with the current trend on the support line. This is where people started really buying up that commodity. It starts to make a little bit of sense. Um, Again, this is more of a tutorial on how to set these lines versus where to place your orders. But now you've kind of determined what was going on at the time you set that line and where you set it at for the support and resistance. And this is where you play at. So these lines are no more than indicators of what the buying activity is doing. It's showing you in real time what the majority of buyers on a particular commodity are doing, what they're thinking, where are they putting all their money, when are they starting to sell, when are they starting to buy. And as you're tracking that by looking at your different charts, your 5-minute, your 15-minute, and your half-hour charts, that's when you kind of determine, hey, where do you think it's going to go? Versus just blindly, hey, the market started at 679 today on that particular commodity. I'm going to buy it at 679 and I'm going to wait for it to go up and see what happens. That's kind of not how you should be approaching this. You need to be looking at information. And the more information you can discern, the more you can understand, the more you see by setting these charts, because you're seeing this information in real time. As soon as it starts doing one thing, you can get skittish and be like, hey, yeah, I think this is going to drop down here. So why don't I just place my buy order here? If it goes up to a particular point between that resistance point and that support, that's where I'm going to make my profit. It's more complicated than that, obviously. But this is how you start to understand what's going on, and it doesn't start looking like just lines on a board anymore. you're starting to see trends, you're starting to understand them. Now, even if I've gotten my information wrong because we're not financial advisors here, what we are technicians. And I just showed you how to use the app and how to move your mouse to set up those lines so you can get that visual of what's going on here. That's what this channel is about. There's more than one way to teach generational wealth. This is it. So, what we are going to recap: what is a support line? And I'm going to put that information right here. That's basically the point in the market where a lot of buying activity is not going below. Once it gets to a certain point, they're buying it up and not letting it drop any further, because that's the low point of what that commodity is. Then we're talking about the resistance. This is where the market believes, hey, the price of this is too high. Even in those bull market runs where nobody really knows, this is where the majority of the buyers are starting to say, hey, let me sell this, or let's take some profit here. That's what those lines mean. Now, understand, resistance and support lines fluctuate throughout the day. One resistance line may be the beginning of a new support line for a particularly good run. So understand the difference. Terminology is essential. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, and I'll talk to you later.